And welcome, everybody, to This Is Difficult, the podcast that brings you world-renowned streamers from across the world. 3 of them this week. Oh, hey, there they are right now. This is a podcast about video gaming and other video game-related things. I don't know why I said it like that, but I am Josh, your host, Lord Yeshua, and we got your host here, Paul, Ryugami-san, and then we got Colin, 4Gs. We've been known to play games, and we're going to talk about them right now. Did we play any games this week, guys? What did we do?
Did I play games this week? Oh yeah, I played Super Mario World on Thanksgiving, and I beat it. Yep.
You just one-shot it. Did you do Star World that day?
Beat Super Mario World?
Yeah, I gotta do most of the work.
What? Did you do it Star World method, or did you go actually each level?
Oh shit! I think we're echoing. Why is Josh echoing? So is Colin.
It's probably because of that. Shit. I know. I think I know why.
So sorry. Wow, way to ruin literally everything.
It's because of the virtual audio cable, I believe.
So mute the audio output capture, right? Or wait, why is that?
We all got some nice beards.
I knew that stupid fucking thing would. Here, hold on. I think
hey,
I can
everybody.
fix it. I think I can fix it. Hold on.
Testing.
You should just get one of those Go XLRs. Those things are awesome.
Right. How's that? Is it still whack?
Test.
Testing.
I think we're good actually now.
Nice. No one knows for sure. Let's just keep going.
I just changed.
No, I listen.
Okay.
Well, my intro. Welcome. It's me, him, and the other guy. All right, let's go. And
yeah, Super Mario World. Super Mario World.
There's my fast intro.
It was fun. Right. It was a lot of fun. Adam plays it every year for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's like a tradition, whatever. And like, so I was like, oh, I want to play. So we met co-op, and then we played. So
okay, but I want to know, did you play it level by level?
Yeah.
Really? You beat all bagillion levels, or did you just go through Star World? And
no, we didn't go through Star World. We put the
okay, that's what I need to know.
Yeah, Adam's a purist. He likes to. That's what's up. He likes to get in there. And
he didn't know about Bowser though. Like 3 and 5, I think, are the best doors to go through.
Oh yeah, 3 and 5. I don't remember that honestly though. But you just go through the back door. No. Not if you're doing every level though.
No. We went 3 and 5 because 5 is the one where you like run real fast and the things slam down on you. But it's like if you get it perfect, then you get it. You know. So
yeah,
it's pretty fast at least. You can get it really, really quickly. So
what a good game.
It really was fun.
Did you play it on the Switch or on the Super?
We played it on the SNES Classic.
Ooh, that's dope.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Those things are so nice. I've got one. It just sat there and collected dust for months. My brother got it for me for my birthday a couple years ago, and it literally collected dust for a few months. But then when I realized like everything that they're capable of, dude, those things are freaking awesome. Because you can sideload a lot. Like it can emulate so much.
That's gross.
It's like a Raspberry Pi, basically, right? I mean,
yeah,
like
kind of. Yeah. You basically just put, what is it? RetroArch on there, and you can.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's neat. Like you can play Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, Game Boy games. Like
very cool.
Yeah, they're super cool, and they're very fun. Yeah, and you can get wireless controllers for them. 8-bit wireless controllers work great.
That's cool. Does it use like those Bluetooth like that, or how does that work?
Pink tooth.
It's I don't have mine up here.
Is it built in, or do you have to like plug it in?
No, there's a little dongle that plugs into the
It probably uses USB, right?
Ports.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't use USB. It's got those proprietary ports that.
No way, really?
That that the thing has for the regular.
Oh, that's crazy.
But 8BitDo makes an adapter for it, and it comes with the controller. So like
that's cool.
Yeah. But then you can also use this controller for whatever else too. Like I used it to play Goof Troop actually, which is our featured game this week.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like we talked about this already?
Goof Troop?
Well, it's been my choice for featured game for a very long time. But I didn't ever finish it before. In fact I barely played it at all. I played it solo and had a really terrible time doing that.
Yeah, it's not fun.
That's what it was.
I got a chance to play it co-op this week with Zach, and we had a really great time. So I'll be talking about that more in a little bit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It was a freaking blast, honestly. So Yeah. Any other games? Anyone else play any other games this week?
Yes, I played a lot of the new Hyrule Warriors. So good.
Delicious.
Yeah, this game is getting better and better, not gonna lie. Paul's statement runs so true, where it's basically like a better version of what Breath of the Wild could have aspired to be. So, okay, the story, it starts off really campy and it gets really, really progressively good. And you basically know, okay, I don't want to spoil too much for people that haven't played Breath of the Wild 1, although it's kind of your fault. The game's kind of older now. I don't care. Okay, so all the champions die in the war against Ganon, basically.
Right,
And Zelda
yeah.
gets imprisoned for 100 years fighting Ganon. And Link gets knocked out, and basically Impa takes him to the hibernation chamber. And that's when you wake up 100 years in the future, right? So this whole story starts becoming more and more intense, knowing that like you do lose actually in the end. And we're basically seeing how
It's like the Empire Strikes Back of video games.
it's like the Empire Strikes Back video. Oh my God, so good. But literally, you're setting it all up and you feel so heroic and amazing, and you get to play as all the champions. And god damn, is it seamless and really well graphicked, and like all the moves feel intentional. It doesn't feel like a total beat 'em up. It actually feels like you can learn and like make it feel like its own game, like Breath of the Wild. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, the story, it's starting to become more intense and heart-wrenching, and you're like, wow, it's like it's gonna not end well for these people. Like, I wonder what's gonna happen. And boy, no one spoil it for me, but I am hoping you get to play as Ganon, or he gets to like, I don't know. I want to see.
You know, that's a good point. Like, in other, this isn't a spoiler, but like, let's take other Warriors games as an example. You can play as Nobunaga, right? Like you can play as like the bad guys, like the opposition. So and yeah, that actually wouldn't surprise me if there's some villain characters that you're able to control.
Yeah. So far, there's one sorcerer, and it's not really a spoiler because he's on the box, but he's like trying to resurrect Calamity Ganon basically to kill all the troops and shit like that. And so you have to assume this guy's probably playable, and he probably does succeed in resurrecting Ganon, and then kills all the good guys. I'm really like, how are they going to end this so that you don't feel horrible if you haven't played Breath of the Wild? Like, if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, you probably aren't playing this game, though.
I can't imagine it's not gonna end on a downer. Like, it's gotta end on a downer. Like,
it's gonna be the Infinity. What a genius idea! Infinity War this game, and then Endgame Breath of the Wild 2, and like really drive home. So this game is probably gonna drive home how evil Ganon is, and like how awful this plan is, and then Breath of the Wild 2 is probably gonna like bring it all home, and like maybe the whole world is saved and restored and everything. I don't know.
God, I hope Breath 2's good. I hope it's better than Breath 1.
Yeah.
Breath 1 just like, I know I won't talk about it much, but like,
I haven't heard your thoughts about this.
It just is the biggest disappointment to me in video gaming, honestly.
I think a tighter story focus. And I think this is important. I think this is what I didn't like about the characters. We're going to dive a little here. The character Zelda in Breath of the Wild 1. So Zelda isn't really supposed to be an omnipresent character in any of the Zelda games, right? But like literally every cutscene involves Zelda in Breath of the Wild. And it made me think like, she's not really someone to save or anything like that anymore. It's like more about saving the world. So seeing her in every scene was kind of stupid to me also. And they really made, this is like the worst portrayed Zelda. Like arguably the 2D ones, she doesn't have any dialogue really, but like she's like a child basically, and the voice acting is really weird. She seems obstinate and like always stubborn against Link, and I'm just like, why the fuck like is she this type of character? Okay. Anyway, and now she's in every scene. So I think this contributed a lot. Like we need story that is like the story of Hyrule, the story of Link's like journey, and this amazing like this hero on his own, like, you know, and now it's too much of the other characters now, but like back to where Ocarina of Time used to be on these epic journeys. And that's what we need to have in the new one, basically, is what I'm coming for circle around to, is like, we need a tighter story, less bullshit in the world. Like everything should be meaningful. You shouldn't be able to climb a fucking 3-hour-long mountain just to be like, why am I on top of this fucking mountain? And there's another one right next to me, taller. So that's really fun. And it's raining. Now I'm falling. Whee! But like, that's fun and all. But like, I want like less landscape, less.
Well, we already know it's gonna have the same map. It's gonna have the same map. We don't know if
it's gonna be restrained though. We don't know if you're gonna be able to go around to the entirety of the map, or if it's gonna be like,
that's fair. Like maybe some parts are destroyed or something like that. We do know that like there's temples. Well, I think I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but like I don't know, Maybe I'm just
Underground
making this
areas.
up. Like the underground areas, yeah, dungeons, things like
I
that.
think it's not confirmed, but basically they were saying like certain areas are going to be cratered out, and I think that's how they do the temples. So like Ganon's awakening would probably like
Please
surge
God,
in
can
the
we ever
earth.
return to temples?
Yes, and
Yeah.
what I'm thinking would happen is like the most likely thing is the towers or like the I don't know shrines or whatever like get sucked back in and get absorbed into temples basically. And this takes care of a lot of the map for us too. So we'll have giant craters, like 30 craters instead of 180 shrines, maybe even 20 craters like around the map. I'm guessing there's going to be a good amount of temples if we do ever return to temples. We're going to see probably over the normal amount, like which is 9 and 11 are the most we've seen Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past. So like there's probably going to be like 20 if we're being realistic here or more. And so I'm fine with that and eating that much of the map, just having like a giant crater with some fun like flowers and shit around it and maybe a treasure chest or something, and then you find a staircase down into the earth, and that's a temple basically, and each one has its own medallion or sapphire or whatever to get, and then all to place into this altar that like does some shit, and then Ganon's like, haha, you fell into my trap after all, I used these as silverware. I don't know. Anyway, triumph forks anyway.
I played some games this week too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like really excited about that prospect, but I agree that Paul, it's like really scary. Yeah, that we might not.
We'll see. Games that I played this week. I played Star Wars Rogue Squadron. That game is so much fun. I am so freaking bad at it, but it is so much fun.
Wait, for the GameCube or the 60?
For the no. Star Wars Rogue Squadron's the brand new Star Wars game.
Oh, there's a new one.
Yeah. And it is really good.
You getting a VR headset for it?
I don't have a VR headset. I wish I did.
Why don't you get one?
Specifically for this game.
I
just don't have space for VR.
You can sit down and do VR.
Yeah, that's true.
With the Windows Mixed Reality, those are pretty good for not having a lot of space and still working.
Yeah. I might do that eventually, but right now I don't want to spend the money on that at the moment. But it would be cool though, because you actually have an advantage if you're playing in VR to other players, because you can like look around as ships pass without having to like lose control of the stick. Yeah, exactly. So
that's a massive advantage I never even considered.
Yeah, but the game's still ridiculously fun just to play with a joystick. Like it is. Oh my god, it is so fun. So I played that. I played Goof Troop. We're gonna talk about that later on here in a minute. And I also played some more Neo, which, dude, the more I play that game, the more I enjoy the hell out of it, especially co-op. It is just so much fun. Very similar to Dark Souls, but yeah, it's a blast. I've been playing that with Chamali, and we've been having a freaking great time. So, my goodness, we have a subscription. Thank you.
Who's
Adam.
the guy? Go, Adam.
Really appreciate it, man.
Do you think he's as good at Mario World as I am?
21 months. Yeah.
Can't be.
I heard that that Colin taught you how to play Super Mario World.
He did. Yeah. It's his first time playing. He did pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
so those are the games that I played this week. And what else did I? Oh, you know what? I also played Bloodstained.
Trousers?
No.
Sorry.
Oh God. Whatever the 3D-ish one is, or like 2.5D one, not the Curse of the Moon ones. Yeah, what is that game called? Anyway, I played that on my Switch. That game's a lot of fun. It's Castlevania.
Okay, Castlevania. Oh, type.
Yeah. So that was a blasty. But since we're talking about it, let's get into the Goof Troop review. Unless you guys had something else you guys wanted to... Yeah, Ritual of the Night. Thanks, Jamali. That is the one that I played. Because that's just been sitting on my Switch forever. I was waiting for some updates, and they've updated the shit out of that game, and so I was like, oh shit, I should actually play this now. Yeah, it is a freaking great game though. Much fun. But yeah, let's get into the review. Let me get the background gameplay up here real quick.
Gosh.
And we can get started. Yuck.
Yuck.
So, the game that I played this week. Here's our review of Goof Troop on the SNES. This game, let me just like throw it right out there. Don't bother playing this game solo unless you like hate yourself. That being said, if you got a buddy that you can play this game with, it is a freaking blast. It is so much fun, and I highly, highly recommend this game. Let's see. This game came out in 1993 on the SNES. It was developed by Capcom. You can still get the cartridge for like 15-20 bucks. Like, it's not a super rare cartridge and not super expensive. So if you want to, play it like a non-emulated version of that, on your original hardware, it's out there. And again, I would highly recommend it. It is a really great game. What did I like about the game? It has beautiful graphics, great music. The gameplay is solid. It's got a lot of really fun Zelda-like puzzles strewn throughout the entire game that you get to do with a friend. And some of them are legitimately hard. Like, there was one that Zach and I were stuck on for at least 10 minutes. Which is pretty wild.
That's awesome. Making me want to play it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's a lot of fun. So definitely worth checking out. What I do not like about this game does not scale well for single players. So, like,
can't you get like multiple items though on single player?
You can. On single player, you can hold 2 items.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're playing multiplayer, you can only hold 1 item at a time. But that makes it like so that you can use teamwork with your homie. Also, Max and Goofy have different strengths. Like, Max is much faster than Goofy, but Goofy hits a lot harder, right? So like most enemies take Max like 2 hits with a like throwing an object to actually kill that enemy, whereas Goofy's always just 1, but he also moves a lot slower than Max does. So
but not only that, you don't have to backtrack with one player. Is that a thing where you would have to like go back and do a thing? I don't know.
You always have to be on the same screen as your partner, because remember, this is an old game. It wasn't designed to play online. So you always have to be on the same screen. There is some backtracking. There's some moments where you have to like go, shit, do we need to go back to get that? Or
it's fun though.
So yeah, but it's not bad. Honestly, like, the game's laid out pretty well. It's not till like the later levels where you really have to, like, there's really a lot of backtracking.
That's where they get you.
Yeah, that is where they get you. Yeah, so that's what I didn't like about the game, is it just doesn't scale well for single player. This was obviously before a lot of developers were able to do difficulty scaling in games like that for single versus, co-op. So if you're playing this solo, it is just insanely hard. So yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, honestly, it's definitely doable solo, but I don't think it's really fun solo.
I get
what I mean? Like,
it's not designed for it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So and like the times where you do have to backtrack, solo makes it that much worse. Like, it's just, yeah, I wouldn't recommend playing the game solo. Let's see, how's the gameplay? Is it fun? Yes. Like, it like I said, the controls are good. The graphics are great for the time. Like, it just looks and plays really well. Good music, like very I'm trying to compare it to something. I don't know. It's good music for the time. 16-bit, like, that era of music. And it's done well. I wouldn't say it's like super exceptional. I didn't like, there's not a tune stuck in my head from playing the game, but I'm sure if I played it more, there probably would be. Let's see. Sound design, it's fine. Again, it's kind of like par for the course for that era of 16-bit gaming. It's definitely not bad. But it's, I wouldn't say remarkable. let's see. How long did it take to beat? So that stream that Zach and I played was around 2 hours and 22 minutes. And then Zach and I went back and like we didn't finish the final level, so we went back and played the final level, and we played for another probably hour to an hour and a half. So between 3 to 4 hours, especially if it's like a blind playthrough and you're just learning all the puzzles and stuff. I would say that's kind of like a safe amount of time. If you're playing with a buddy, yeah, 3 to 4 hours. I'd say if you are a veteran of this game, you could probably knock this out in an hour.
That's I want to see a speed run.
Yeah, I bet you there are people that speed run this, and you could probably get through it pretty quick.
I bet the world
speedrunners use both controllers.
What? No freaking way.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Wow,
that's fantastic.
Can we get
I would
the
love to
record
see
on
that.
this real quick. Anyone, Shamali?
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
What else?
To see a YouTuber do that.
Is the game difficult? Yes. Even with a co-op partner, it's a difficult game. There's some of the bosses are pretty difficult. Some of the puzzles are pretty difficult, even though they're all just like sliding block puzzles. You would think that's not. Oh my god, 19 minutes and 51 seconds for the speedrunning record.
Damn.
Holy shit. But yeah, so like even though it's like a simple concept for the puzzles, like some of these, like I said, it took me and Zach, and neither of us are dummies. We're not geniuses either, but like we're not stupid. And some of the puzzles took us a good 20 minutes, or not 20, maybe 10 minutes to finish. Because they're just well designed, simple puzzles. So yeah, you get difficult. You get both levels of difficulty. Like with kind of more cerebral versus like just plain game action difficulty. So the game delivers pretty well there. Would I play a sequel? Yeah, one doesn't exist, unfortunately, but I would definitely play a sequel because this game is actually a ton of fun. I would definitely play any game that offers this kind of a co-op experience.
And a sequel does not exist.
I don't believe so.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's a shame. Because this was a great game.
Yeah. Is this on the Switch SNES thing?
No, it's not.
Fuck, why? That's such a perfect opportunity to utilize the online co-op.
Yeah, that would be great. Honestly, this would be a great addition to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, bummer that it's not, but yeah, definitely would be a great addition. I don't know. I mean, obviously Disney owns the rights to this, but I think isn't there one or two Disney games on the Switch Online?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. We just want the Lion King so we can all just be brutalized again.
There you go. Well, they did. We talked about this a few weeks ago. They did re-release the Lion King.
Oh yeah.
On a cartridge or whatever with like
Disney
several
pack
different,
or whatever. Yeah,
several different versions, and Jungle Book, I think too.
Oh, sick. And Aladdin.
Oh yeah, it was Aladdin. It was Lion King and Aladdin, not Lion King and Jungle Book. That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Never beating that shit.
No one has.
You never had a friend like me.
That's hilarious. Yeah, what else? Is the game worth buying at the current price? Well, currently you can only buy it secondhand, and it's about $15 to $20, and I would say definitely. That's definitely worth picking up if you find a cartridge. And watch the full game streamed on YouTube. No.
Watch all 19 minutes.
Yeah, go watch a
two-handed speed run.
Go watch a two-handed speed run that takes 19 minutes. That's insane. That person's insane.
Mad.
Dude, I'm just like thinking about how difficult that game was for me and Zach, like just to play through. And like imagine like me trying to do that with my hands going like this on two different game
memorize
pads.
it. You probably just don't even
It's like that game for the Wii U that like required you to be a bad guy. What was it called? It was called Nintendo Land or something like that. And like it was an Animal Crossing themed game where like you control two bad guys. You try and slice everyone, basically. And everyone has to eat candy, basically. and if they eat candy, they slow down, so they gotta get rid of their candy quickly. You remember this game? No.
You showed me
No,
once.
This is a fever dream I had or something like that.
No, it's
Sounds
real.
like
It's
a fever
real.
dream,
But I
yeah.
don't understand what it has to do with anything.
The idea is that you have to control 2 people at one time.
Gotcha.
You have 2 joysticks, and you're literally controlling both of them separately.
When else has
and-
that been a thing?
And that just, I mean, your brain is just like getting turned into mush as you like try and control these.
That's crazy.
It's fun though. It's a lot of fun.
That is crazy.
Mushy brain.
All right. So my overall rating and impression of this game. If you were to play this solo as a single player game, I would say a 5, right? But as a co-op game, I would definitely give this like an easy. Ooh, did anyone else just hear a loud noise? No, just me. Okay.
Wait, are you going to be doing the old school and the new school review like I did? How do we do this?
Well, there's no new school. It's just an old
Or
game.
your current perception if it came out now.
Well, my current perception, if this came out now as like an indie game, like still in this style, I would still give it the same impression. I think.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It could just be an indie game. Yeah, that's
and
true.
that's why games like this, I think, age really well. Is because it's definitely stylized. It's not like 16-bit gaming has become like a style of video game.
Yeah, it has.
So
God,
I think they just kind of like a lot of games from this era kind of are preserved that way, just by default. And this game just does play really well. So like I said, for single player though, like it's not a very fun experience to do by yourself because it's just like brutally difficult. But multiplayer, it's fantastic. I would give it like a solid 8.
damn, that's not that fantastic.
Well, here's the thing: it's a short game. It's a very short game. So it's not like there's endless replayability to it. So I think that's where I'm going to take off some points. But 8's still a good score, man. 80%. That's a B, dude.
True.
That's a passing grade, son.
What if someone remade it and like the puzzles were randomly generated, and you could like do co-op endlessly? Ooh.
That would be rad. That would be very cool. That would be very
I'd make it a 10 probably, right?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah. I don't know. We give out high scores on this show.
I give out tens reliably.
Like, I feel bad for the developers. They worked hard.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that's it. Like I said, single player 5, multiplayer definitely an 8. Super worth playing. Very fun. A little bit on the short side. So there we go. That wraps up my review of Goof Troop, and that gameplay in the background was my gameplay. So you could probably see the silhouette of me behind me and Zach behind Colin there. So yeah, cool. Guys, ready to bust into this topic question here?
Do it.
What is it?
I love this topic.
This topic is, we're still kind of on like game mechanic deep dives as a series of topics that we're doing for the podcast. So, which by the way, last week we were all totally baffled by the
We were. It wasn't really a
topic.
question. It was like
We didn't understand the topic.
chocolate.
Maybe we'll revisit that one with
Like,
Chamali. But
What was
so
It was
it
about
was
I missed it.
progression system.
yeah, it was skill progression, but there wasn't
Oh,
really a
that's not
question.
it.
It was just like, here's what
progression.
skill progression is, guys. Discuss.
Literally. Zelda.
So anyway, here we go. So this week we're doing a deep dive on mini games. So and
Delicious.
you know what? Now that I'm reading this isn't really a question either, but I think we can make it in one.
Yeah, we can do that.
So what makes a good video or mini game? What games contain good mini games? Different mechanics and different like ways you can pull off a mini game. Here's the examples that we have are, like games within games would be like Gwent from The Witcher 3. It's like a fully flushed out card game that's contained inside The Witcher 3. Mechanics Taken 2 game, right? So like Bomb Chew Alley
Exactly,
or the
like
shooting gallery in Zelda
Right.
are like ways to make you proficient with items that you have in the game, like outside of said mini game. And I'm gonna add my own one in here. would say this is kind of like a category of its own, but like the Sega Dreamcast had the VMUs, which allowed you to, it was like a tiny little Game Boy that plugged into your controller, and it allowed you to play mini games based on the full-fledged games that you were playing on your console.
What?
So there was all
What?
sorts of fun little things that you could do on there.
Sick.
Honestly, super underutilized,
Yeah.
but still very cool. So, what do you guys think? What are some examples of mini games that you like? You know, games based on mini games.
So
WarioWare.
there's where I was gonna go was
Yeah.
Mario Party and WarioWare, and I think one of the harder things to do, just talking about mini games, is to like make a game solely based on mini games be like actually really enjoyable all the time. So Mario Party is kind of like, honestly, like 50% of the mini games are fun, and then it's like a board game premise, right? So there's still a way for it not to be all mini games, but WarioWare literally is a mini game. There's like
Yeah.
no way around it. It's just mini games, micro games, in fact. So like, I think it serves the like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just serves your like need to just play some random shit over and over again. So like, I don't even know if I would really consider these mini games because that's like what the game is. So you know,
They're
you're just
for
like,
sure mini games.
fuck it, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean they're for sure mini games.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know what else you could call them.
I know, but it's like it has
Yeah.
its time and place. But I think that's like a hard thing. But like Zelda is like the best example as far as like you said it, like mini games are good if like it has to do with the game, right? So the shooting gallery, and it teaches you how to be better at shooting, right?
Fishing mini games.
Fishing. I think the mini games that can be bad are like mini games when you have to collect vital items, but it's not like mandatory to the quest or whatever, and that just like feels arbitrary. I don't know. There's like a ton of mini games that are random that like you are required to be, and I think that kind of takes something away. Like if you have to do like what's the shit also where you have to like press a button at the right time, like in God of War and stuff. What do they call that? You know, when like cutscene, and like to me that's kind of like a mini game too, where you have to like press buttons at the right time.
What are those called?
Like what are those called?
Like quick time events.
Quick time events. And to me, like they do that instead of mini games, and it just like kind of pulls you out of it. And when it's mandatory like that, it kind of removes a lot of why a mini game exists. If executed properly, like, oh, here's a shooting gallery, let me go test my skills. What? I'm awesome. I got a better quiver. This is so cool. Like that just feels good.
I mean, so I think there's some examples of mini games that are required that are fine, like in Zelda Link's Awakening.
Well, Zelda,
sure, but you have to do the like you have to do the crane game mini game. I'm pretty sure you have to do the fishing game.
You have to do the fishing to get the bottle or whatever.
Yeah, and like they're you know, they're fun-ish mini games. They're not like super great, but they're also not like it's not like impossible. It's not like if it's forcing me to play this terrible mini game that you know, I have a chance of never beating. You know what I mean?
Ones that are really fun, and it's like kind of gets you invested in the town, and like the story feels more real then, and like to me that's a beautiful way of doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the only example I really have of it being negative is like, I don't know. I can think of some Resident Evil stuff aside from the quick time stuff, but like in Resident Evil, like makes you do like an assembly or some kind of puzzle thing real quick, or else you die in like a certain amount of time, and like it's mandatory to killing the boss or escaping a room. And I'm just like, it's like that's so stupid. It like basically is its own type of mini game, or you know, or maybe like the spikes are gonna fall on your head unless you do some super stressful thing, and the story can't progress then, and it just feels frustrating. And you're like, this is really frustrating and time sensitive, and it's yeah. I don't know. I think when they can be done properly and it can be done negatively, and that's always like too stressful.
I think another good way of doing mini games is having it like be something that's totally unnecessary for the game that might be like hidden somewhere, right? And that like you just kind of stumble upon it and find this game inside the game that you can, you know, sink, you know, maybe an hour into, and you're like, holy shit, like I found this. You know, like Gwent, I mean, Gwent is kind of shoved in your face. But like the fact that it's like a fully fledged game with inside, you know, in the game. Red Dead Redemption has that as well with like poker and things like that. So like
those are good.
I think those are good ways of doing mini games. But yeah, I agree. Like if it's really forced on you, and it's something that's obnoxious to play. I could think that's probably the only bad example of a mini game. In
Yeah.
general, mini games are fun, man. Like
So fun.
I think it adds variety to the game, it adds replayability to the game. It, it kind of takes you out, like, especially if you've been like grinding on something for a while, like it kind of like changes the pace of what you're doing to kind of like give you a new fresh take on what you know, what you're doing. I don't know.
This
What do you
goes
think, Colin?
this kind of oh, sorry.
Um,
You go first.
well, I mean, yeah, that's a really interesting question about the deep dive of mini games. And I mean, I always like more content as long as it's not required and it's not overly obnoxious. Like, I think like sometimes it's like, so are we saying like mini games as in like optional or required mini games?
So
Like,
here, I didn't even think about this, but what about like bonus games? Like think about Super Mario World, and there are bonus levels and worlds, and they're not required to beat the game, but it makes you just feel more fulfilled getting them. So like think of it like that.
Well,
Like
those aren't necessarily
content.
mini games, though. That's
No.
just the same game, just with more
Bonus
levels,
like,
right?
optional
Okay,
quests
you're
wouldn't
right,
be
you're
mini
right.
games then. Be
Okay,
like
that's
you're
what I'm
saying, like
saying.
little like
Okay.
repetitive things that maybe hone your skill or something like that is like how we're trying to.
Yeah, kind of like what we
Again, we're
talked
having the
about.
same issues last week. It's just like, what's the question again?
Yeah, I think I got a little derailed there.
Yeah. I don't know. What are some other games based on mini games that you guys can think of?
Thanks. Aside from not Paper Mario.
Mario Party is just one big
Mario Party
game.
is just one time. Yeah, but then WarioWare.
WarioWare is another really good one. Yeah, it's like micro mini games.
Wii Sports was a really cool one that basically turns mini games into like a full-fledged game. I don't
Oh,
know.
you know what? The PlayStation, what is it? Move had a really good one too. That like had like really good sword fighting, and like it
Ooh.
was like just like the free sports thing that came with like the PlayStation Move accessories, and it was a lot of fun. Like they had like a really good archery, a really good sword fighting thing. Very similar to like the Wii Sports stuff. I thought better though. I thought it was
is
like
that like a mini game traditionally, or are we getting it confused again?
I mean, they really all mini games. Like
Yeah,
none of these are like
But
But I think like the
full-fledged
difference
games.
between like the core gameplay stripped away, of anything else. The core gameplay is this, and then mini games are their
just
own
one thing.
Like there was like that one game. Oh, what's it called? It's like you're this. I'm not gonna remember the name. You're like this Asian dude. You run around, and it's a bunch of like mini games you have to perform to like work and make money. Oh, I'm completely blanking on the name. Anyway, it's a bunch of mini games. It's side quests basically, and that
Mario?
seems like a good example of something with a bunch of mini games.
Yakuza?
Mario.
I
It
think
might
that-
be. Yeah. I think it is that game. Yeah.
That's
That was-
hilarious.
Isn't that what it's
Wait.
called?
What is it?
Maybe, yeah. I
Yakuza?
mean, Yakuza are the. It's like a I would
It's like
almost
a
compare it
living
more to.
like living your life generator or like emulator or something like that. Like
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
simulator.
like Japanese Grand Theft Auto almost. But
like
yeah,
a
I think
lot of mini games though. They're
yeah, it
just
does
like,
have a lot of mini games. Yeah.
Although I think it's kind of interesting that mini games can be like ways to hone your skill. Like in Zelda, for instance, like that's really about like learning the timing of the bombs, learning the timing of your bow and
Riding
arrow,
the
and
horse
aiming.
shit?
Yeah, riding a horse. Like those all. I didn't think about that. The idea that like mini games, they are kind of like waste your time kind of moments or like filler, but like they can also hone your skills, and make you a better
yeah,
player.
like racing Epona in
Where like
in-
mashing A is never gonna make my gameplay better, like
right.
Exactly.
mash A really fast. Like you don't need to do it that fast, for anything else, other than this maybe one mini game, whatever. So,
Thing.
Yeah.
You basically you defined a mini game kind of in a way. You were like, it's when everything's stripped away. So like a mini game is something short that just has you do one repetitive skill basically, and
could
that's
be, yeah.
No. No, I
necessarily-
mean I think that's a form of mini game, but a mini game is just any
short.
like smaller like gameplay mechanic that is like totally disassociated from the rest of the game, right? Like it's a game contained inside that game. So like those can be mini games, but like there's any number of other examples of mini games. I would say the best examples of mini games, like mini games done right, like if you want to keep your immersion, would be like that. Like would be like a distilled mechanic that's turned into a game, like racing Epona or doing the archery thing or doing your
Zelda
bomb
really
shoes
nailed
because
it.
it's like because it's teaching you how to play the game better. Yeah, and yet you're still doing like a full-fledged game, like
I
just
admit
doing that.
you're gonna hate that I say this, but Breath of the Wild did actually do that correctly.
Did it?
There's a ton of random idiot NPCs all over the place. So like
Where you
whatever
have
you
to shoot the fucking
not only
things.
there's like you gotta shoot all the guys,
Yeah.
target practice, race me up a mountain, like collect
Yeah.
all there was a lot of that where it felt really arbitrary and you're like, why do I have to do this? But then there lies the problem where it's like too much and not enough of a reward. So you're like, I don't really feel a need to do this. Whereas in like Ocarina of Time, you're like, I can race and shoot the pots at the same time in the Gerudo and I can double my quiver. Like it feels awesome and I really get good at it. And it does matter that I get better. So it's like, there's a line where mini games can become too much and superfluous. And you're like, it just feels like I don't have to do all these, And then there's a point where they're just really awesome and you want
Nancy True. That's right. It's all about mini games. That's all it is really. It's like
Nancy
basically a
Drew.
loose narrative with a bunch of like mini games. Yeah.
Yeah. A whole bunch of different puzzles.
It's puzzles. Yeah, it is puzzles. Some of them are mini games, like really weird mini games, but like
WarioWare
puzzles is probably a better way of putting it. So like
mini games.
And again, but that's the gameplay though. Like, like you wouldn't have much of a game without that. Like even though the gameplay is moving around asking questions, being a detective, it's really about solving these puzzles. So like,
okay,
I don't know. That to me is like, again, that's probably a Mario Party kind of situation where you wouldn't have, a game without the mini games. Moving around a board. So like, what's the point?
Like, how do they do it? But that's literally what WarioWare is.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's the only game to achieve that. I feel like.
What?
Like just mini games for no reason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can't think of any other.
I can't think of any other game that's just like play a bunch of our bullshit, go, 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 and it's like you just do it
until your head explodes.
And there is a story, but like not really. It's like just characters. It's not like a real story. I beat that game in like 2 hours on stream. I was like, what the fuck? Like it takes 2 hours to play all the mini games.
Yeah, that game's crazy.
It's so good.
Yeah. The Game Boy version's really good too.
They're all so good. Yeah, DS version is really good. Yeah,
yeah, really like super fun. Another thing those games do is they like incorporate mechanics from existing games too. Like there's sometimes like little Mario mini games, or there's like like kind of like a Space Invaders game. So like that game like gets meta by like making a game that's only mini games, and some of the mini games are miniature versions of other real games.
A perfect example is Donkey Kong 64. You literally get to play Donkey Kong, arguably one of the hardest parts of the game, but you have to beat the OG Donkey Kong in order to get.
Oh, I was thinking that earlier. Yeah,
it adds the negative aspect of you have to do it.
You have. I hate that. I hate when it's like a really dumb mini game that you're like forced to beat.
And
it's like
you have to beat Donkey Kong.
I literally,
it was hard when we were young. I swear to God,
I gave up on that part as a kid. I remember I was like, I don't want to play this.
Donkey Kong?
Yeah, I don't want to play it. Yeah,
I know.
Donkey Kong's probably the first game I remember playing as a child.
I did not
like
enjoy that game at all.
On Atari, I played freaking Donkey Kong, and like I played the shit out of it. Like it's not a hard game.
Really?
For some reason, when I was a kid,
I really struggled with it.
And they added a fourth level that wasn't in the arcade version. Maybe it was in the Atari version, but like there were 4 levels. All you had to do was beat all 4 fucking levels, and you win. Like straight up.
I mean, if I remember the Atari version correctly, it's like pretty. There's maybe like 3 or 4 levels. And they just repeat, and it just gets harder and harder. Like that was kind of like the style of old arcade games back then. It was like there's like a couple different things, and once you get through them, it just changes the color and like ups the speed a little bit.
Yeah,
or something like that, and like just keeps going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like theoretically you could play them infinitely, but.
There's also another cool example if anyone's played Celeste. Like there's like a little cave and a chill area with a computer in one of these harder levels, and it's like a mini version of all of Celeste. And you're just like, oh, let me just sit and play this real quick. And it's just like it's kind of being meta to itself, where you like play a mini version of its own game in like 8-bit. And I don't know, I think that's really cool because it pulls you out, and it kind of gives you something else.
Do either of you have a favorite mini game? Like out of like, is there something that sticks out? Like that was my favorite mini game out of any video games?
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna just
Good
say
question.
right now, I don't. Like, I can't think of one right now. There probably is one, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Honestly, the
But do
one
you?
that I put a lot of time into and like really think I love, but is just coming to mind is the fucking pots one from Gerudo, where you have to shoot all the pots, and getting a perfect was kind of my thing on that. I don't know. Does anyone know what I'm talking about, Colin?
Yeah.
No, we talking about
In
where?
Gerudo and Ocarina of Time, when you get the second quiver and the heart piece, you have to perfect in order to get the heart piece. You have to like hit all the pots with your arrows, and you only have so many arrows. You really don't remember?
I remember that part.
Training ground? I can't believe he doesn't remember that. He was like,
Yikes.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
awkward.
Anyway, no one else can think of it. Yours is probably the well.
The well?
Yeah. Oh my God. He doesn't remember any Zelda references right
What are
now.
you talking about?
Your brain from
The
Majora's
well?
Majora's
Colin,
Mask.
I
have
hate
you
that.
played Zelda?
That was the joke. Was I said yours is probably the well.
Oh, okay. I was like, I wouldn't like that. I was like trying to think about which one I actually enjoyed. That was the well. I was like, I don't enjoy any of
I
that.
don't know.
No.
I can't
Yeah.
believe you remember the shooting thing from.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. That's so interesting. I'll have to replay that.
That
Beat
is
your
very
high
strange.
score.
Okay, you don't have a favorite minigame? No.
I can't think of any. I'm just like, this is the one I'm just so gung
This
ho
is the
about.
best.
I'm sure
Yeah.
if I like thought about it, I'd be like, oh yeah, I really enjoy this.
Oh, what
as a
about
kid, you know?
like what about some Banjo Kazooie shit? I don't know.
Is there any mini games in Banjo Kazooie?
No, most of those are kind of like, I don't really.
Sandcastle, like that's not a minigame, you don't think?
I mean, that's a mini game, yes,
Word.
but like, I don't think that's one I would like be like, oh, I can't wait to play that again. You know, I think of a fun mini game would be one I'd want to play over and over and over. You know, because it's just enjoyable. But most of the time, most mini games, I'm like, glad I'm done with that. You know,
I like
It's
fishing mini games.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
gotta give it
Yeah.
time.
I don't like fishing mini game, but I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are fun. I haven't met like I can't think of a fishing game or fishing mini game that I dislike per se.
Yeah.
Oh,
So like you know, they're all pretty fun.
I don't know. if you
Even
had
even like you know, Ocarina of Times is a little obnoxious, but it's still fun.
Did you play Twilight Princess on the Wii U or on the Wii by any chance? Because the fishing, that was like
No,
really
I did
big
not.
for me with the motion controls and everything. And you basically use the stick as the casting rod and then the nunchuck to like reel in. And it was like
I have
much
it on the
more-
Wii U, but I have not had a chance to play it yet.
Oh, can you use the nunchucks on the Wii U version? I wonder.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Fit-
I don't know.
would
I haven't played it yet. So
For most immersive experience, I highly recommend. But yeah, I thought that was the best fishing experience, aside from like literally, like you said, putting like 50 hours into fishing an Ocarina of Time for no reason. Yeah. And looking for the lore for like an hour straight each time.
right. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else we can say about mini games? Not that I can think of. Oh, you know what? I mentioned the VMUs earlier.
oh yeah. I
for-
still don't know what that is exactly. I
So
didn't-
so the Sega Dreamcast had two like memory card slots in the
Okay.
in the controller and a little window, right?
Okay.
So like what you would do is you could slide a VMU into the top
what's that stand
memory card slot, visual memory unit.
for? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, and what the VMU was like literally like a tiny Game Boy. Like
That's
it was, you know, just like the size of a memory card, but it had like a little 1-inch screen on it, like 1x1 screen. It had two buttons and a little D-pad, just like a Game Boy. And you
Okay.
could like you could unlock mini games from your Dreamcast games and play them on your little VMU. So
That's
like
genius.
when you weren't like, you know, what you could when you weren't playing your Dreamcast, you could take your VMU out and, you know, play a couple little games on your thing. Like just carry that around in your pocket.
What a
you know?
genius way to sell the actual games too, because the more games you have, the more mini games you can play.
Yeah, and it was great.
Interesting.
Like, and it was another thing. Like, it was like, you know, like, oh, I'm going over to my friend's house. He's got this same game, but I want to use my save. I'm gonna throw my VMU in my pocket. You know, maybe I'll play like whatever this little mini game on my VMU on, you know, on the car ride over. You know, something like that. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a cool idea. So, yeah, there's not really a place for that in today's gaming market, because we don't really use memory cards like that anymore. But I think it was like a really cool technology, and it was like pretty underutilized too, you know. So
Well, we have cloud saves now, you know. So
right.
I still love me a good memory card. Slap that bad boy on my GameCube. There's no point. Yeah.
I mean, it's useless now, but you know, back in the day, I think that was pretty cool.
Well, it was really like one generation, like 1 or 2 generations of gaming consoles that require the memory card. If you think about it, and even N64 was internal.
64,
and then
GameCube.
But 64, yeah.
But no, just the N64 only moderately.
There's a ton of games on N64 that use a memory card, dude. The only reason I say that is because I busted out, like, I've got that cartridge that has literally every 64 game on it, and there's like, I just tested out a ton of games on there, and there's a surprising amount of games that require a memory card.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
All right, so GameCube and that, and then all the other consoles. Fuck it. What am I talking about? Again, I would say you can have an N64 collection like mine that doesn't require any memory card games, but I might have been avoiding them for that reason because I didn't have a memory card.
You know what's funny? The Xbox Series X is kind of bringing memory cards back in a way. Not in the same way that we remember, right? But they've got a slot on the new Series X that they've got their own like proprietary solid state drives that are detachable that you can just pop into the slot like a memory card.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really cool. I think it might have 2 slots on it. Maybe not. Maybe just 1. But regardless, like, that's kind of like this generation's memory card. Much different from back in the day, you know, but in a way, Xbox is kind of bringing that back, and I think that's kind of cool. Honestly, like, being able to just, like, instead of having to actually physically install a new solid state drive or use, like, USB, like, that is a cool solution to just be able to plug it right in.
Yeah.
You know? But you're gonna pay a premium for that.
Of course you are. An Xbox premium.
All right.
Subscriptions.
Right. Yeah. Anywho, do you guys have anything else to say about mini games?
Oh God, I love them.
I'm thankful
they can be
for them.
great.
They're not always great. They're sometimes good, not always. You know.
Yeah.
I love holding out my Deku flail thing and soaring as far as I can until I run out of magic and falling into the ocean. That's all I have to say. That's another one of my favorites.
That's a mini game.
Yeah, you just basically it's however much magic you have. You can just like take your Deku thing and just like float. That's Wind Waker. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm done talking now.
Very cool.
Anything about
dude,
Zelda.
one day we'll have a podcast that doesn't mention Zelda.
No, why would
we want that?
Off the show? What's happening?
I don't know. I just think I think it's a personal challenge.
Let's
that we
kill
should.
him.
Zelda last week. I wasn't here.
Oh, we brought it up.
Of course you brought it up about how much Breath of the Wild is dookie.
Yeah. No, but I think that could be like a personal challenge for us, like to not bring up Zelda.
Breath of the Wild and just review it.
No.
You really don't like it? What if it's amazing?
I hate it. I recently tried to play back through it, and it just really made me mad, honestly.
Same.
I think the only ones really worth replaying now, I'm sorry, this is just gonna be really blunt, is really Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and Link's Awakening. And the rest are like
that's entirely wrong.
I like Skyward Sword.
There's so first of all, like you're leaving out every single 2D Zelda, which the 2D Zeldas are arguably better than all of the 3D Zeldas.
You cover it with Link's Awakening though.
No, you don't.
Arguably, indeed, sir.
Man, that's just such a bold statement to say that. That's crazy.
I don't know. Okay, I'll throw Link's Awakening or Link to the Past into the package. But honestly, the Past is so painful for me to play sometimes. It's not a smooth experience like the other ones. I don't know. I just say it's not.
Yeah, Adam says that's the worst opinion he's ever heard.
And he's heard a lot of opinions.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
All right. We'll toss.
And he throws out a lot of bad opinions too.
The only other ones are the Oracles, and then Minish Cap, and then Link's.
Minish Cap is freaking-tastic. That's an amazing game.
The ending is horrible, and it's so
the ending's fine.
Okay, you play it.
Huh?
Go play it. I played
it a million times.
All right.
I've beaten that game probably like
The Zelda
shoot, maybe
podcast.
10 times. I
We
don't
should
know.
do a Zelda only episode, and then it'll get it all out.
Well, we'll for sure do a Zelda only episode for like the 35th anniversary
Oh yeah,
next year.
literally
That's
on
coming
the
up.
first,
Yeah, that's coming up.
February 1st.
So we'll do it. We'll for sure do a Zelda only one.
We'll get a comment video for that
But
one.
yeah, the Capcom Zeldas are really good, dude. Like I think they did a really fantastic job.
They're all good. They're all good. I'm not gonna hate on any of them. But
Yeah.
like these days, I don't know. So many games you could play.
Here's what we should do.
There we go. Bring it.
We should do on the week before our 35th anniversary Zelda podcast.
I know what you're gonna say.
We do no Zelda mentions whatsoever.
I don't like that. Okay.
We do
What
no
happens
Zelda
if we
mentions.
say it though?
On
We
the
have to,
week
like, have
of, it's literally going to be all Zelda.
How about
We got to
not
give
only-
them a break
Why
from
don't we
Zelda.
all during that week of no Zelda mentions, we all play a Zelda game to review?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
I'm down for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I'll let you guys pick first.
Ocarina
Yeah.
of Time.
That's a
Fuck
great
you.
idea.
No, I actually didn't want to get Ocarina of Time. I think I want Wind Waker.
What? Just
Yeah,
like a
dude.
movie. It's
I'll
now
probably pick a
co-op.
like a obscure one, maybe like Link Between Worlds or
I
something.
think you want a
That
2D.
game's fantastic.
Just like a movie.
What am I talking about? They're all good. What do you want from me? I'm just saying.
I don't know. You just said that only Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were worth
I'm
replaying.
glad I have the memories of games like a Link Between Worlds, but like if someone was like, "Do you want to play Link Between Worlds all the way through again?" I might be like, "I beat it. I 100% of that game," and you know what I mean. And so
That
I'm like,
game's
I don't know.
really good, honestly.
It is.
Like,
Can you honestly say you like want to play it more than like? A Link
yeah,
to-
I would definitely play it again. Like,
Okay.
I think it's a fantastic game.
Just like a movie.
Freaking, I think that what's his name? What is his name? Ravio or whatever?
It was a cool story arc.
Yeah,
Love
I think he should have his own game, like a spin-off
It's
game.
Smash also. Oh,
Yeah.
he should have another. He should have his own spin-off game.
That's what I'm saying.
like,
That takes place.
see
It's like all in the underworld thing.
Hyrule,
Yeah.
and you can like see the reflections from Hyrule maybe, and like
Maybe I don't even care. Like just a 100% low rule game with
Yeah.
Ravio. Like I think that'd be
I want
fucking
a
rad.
Zelda game with the 7 years between Ocarina of
this is
Time.
what I want the most actually too. We talked about this before. We want a game where Impa
You
takes
train as a ninja, basically.
Cheek, yeah, and
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
it's like you like helping Link in back behind the scenes type of ways.
Yeah, like you're like always there in the background, like like he wouldn't have been able to like you come to different temples and they're different because they're not quite ready to be get on
And
into
literally
it.
it could be you talk to each sage is like instead of you having temples like Link does, it could be like you go and meet with the sages in order and like set them up to meet Link and present the medallions to him, and then like training along the way, becoming a Sheikah. That would be fucking raw. And then literally the ending scene is like Link like pulling the Master Sword out, and you're like, "Hello, Link," and it just ends.
Dun dun dun.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Dig
Yeah.
it.
Well, this rapidly devolved into Zelda only podcast here at the end. so-
Sorry.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
That's hilarious. All right, let's wrap it up, guys.
Wrapping it up like a
Let's
present.
Let's see. Podcast. If you want to follow us, here's where you can do that. Here's the Discord is in the chat. The YouTube's in the chat. You can see our our links for Twitch there if you want to watch our Twitch streams.
There
If
we
you're
are.
watching this right now live, you're on my channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not, it's Ryugami-san. And I'm on Twitter at Ryugami-sama. So check us out there.
Oof, I hate to say you're the
and-
only one who's really like streaming reliably right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're like
good
the
for
only
you.
true streamer left out of us all, which is
I'm
good. That's awesome.
trying to keep it going for us old motherfuckers. You know
You'll
what I'm
see
saying?
me and Colin playing co-op soon. We really
Yeah, at some point we'd like to play some Banjo Tooie. This week's just really crazy for me.
And 64 almost has puppets. I saw 64 is almost done. I was checking out the forum.
64? What are you talking
Oh,
about?
I keep saying that like you know what I'm talking about. Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, it does? I didn't see that. That's cool.
Oh no, I was getting ahead of myself.
Oh.
Uh,
It works, just there's no puppets.
still no puppets. Come on, Spicy.
No puppets.
Puppets.
All right. Well,
we're
if you're
gonna-
watching this on YouTube and you enjoy our podcast, please share this with your friends.
So we know.
We
Good.
need to get the word out. So,
Yes. Get the word
Also,
out.
if you just like us in general, please share. You know,
We get 1,000 followers by the end of December. Colin won't leave the show.
dude, that would be rad. Let's do it. Do it.
Do
He
it.
promised. He promised live.
You promised. I promise that Colin will stay on the show. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right.
He just
He just left. All right. Well, everyone have an excellent night. It was
great night,
lovely
everyone.
spending time with you.
so lovely.
Let's go raid
We'll
someone.
see you guys
Ooh,
next time.
Raid.
Yeah, we can raid. Who can we raid?
Hookah raid.
Hookah raid. Actually,
We
I was
could
gonna say
raid.
Spicy, but he's not for another 3 hours. so.
Spicy was he gonna be streaming tonight?
We
Just so can
started
have
super
that
early
roll.
tonight, so
Yeah.
we'll just raid Mindari.
Spicy
She's live.
stream.
All right.
What's the spicy stream?
Oh, he streams Cross 64 development, the new emulator that's gonna come out for the 64.
Oh, he's literally
cool.
just editing it right now.
Yeah, he's like, and he
Oh.
also plays guitar too.
I'm just kidding. That sounds.
not impressed. Yeah.
No, not impressed. Develop games
All
for
right,
me.
we're raiding now. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Woohoo!